Greetings, humanoids, flow Jedis, what's going on? My name is Sumed. I'm a positive psychologist, flow state specialist, a certified peak performance coach. I'm also kind of a neo-shaman, okay? So I get into these altered states of mind, and I've been fascinated with altered states of consciousness for a while now, okay? Like, for a very long time. And I'm here to share with you today one of my main spirit guides, whose name is Chief Deno, okay? I only discovered his title Chief later, but it's important to understand that Chief Deno has been with me the longest, and I have the most personal connection to Chief Deno. Now, this series is going to be primarily on flow state deities that I work with. If you want to get to know them better, you can set up a one-on-one channeling session where me and my business partner, who holds space for the particular entity deity, will basically, I'll call it through me, I'll invoke the spirit, and if you can ask it questions, you can prepare lots of questions. They love questions, these different deities I work with. But this energy was something that I recognized quite young, when I was, let's say 17, maybe 16 going into 17 or 17 years old. And it was primarily when I started getting a lot of tiger imagery in my mind, okay? This is very, very interesting. And first of all, I mean, we've got to understand a few things, right? Number one, the tiger is the Royal Bengal tiger specifically is the national animal of India. Okay. Number two, I used to read a lot of Calvin and Hobbes when I was younger. I even got Timbo right here, a stuffed toy tiger to represent this particular energy. Why did I do this at the time? I have no idea. I was like 10 years old when I got Timbo. So maybe it even started younger, right? When I was like a child, where I started getting all this tiger imagery all of a sudden. Why did the tiger speak to me? This fierce grace, right? It's that essence, that energy, right? It has that ferocity, but there's also an eloquence, a gracefulness, a smoothness, a flow to that, right? It's not like this just ferocious person. That's scary. Right? That's not attractive. But if you add grace, if you add effortlessness to that, it adds something very powerful. Now, you got to understand that Chief Deno for me, and again, take everything I say with a grain of salt, read the disclaimer below, but for me, Chief Deno is the representation of the raw masculine. Okay, the complete, raw, authentic, pure masculine that will express. And sometimes, I would work with this energy and I'd be pretty terrified, or I'd be very annoyed by it, honestly. Like, Deno's energy at the time was almost like a shamanic drill sergeant, right? So it would tell me like, let's go. No, enough of that. No, fuck that, right? It'd be very commanding, disciplined, this very grounded voice, okay? Now, Chief Deno is most related to my root chakra, okay? As we spoke about the chakra path working, we each have a particular chakra. I have a deity associated with each chakra point. So that's how I'm gonna make this series, and then we can get into the extras, or the other entities I've come across and so forth, that perhaps if you want to work with one-on-one, or if you want to find a specific connection with a deity, we also help you do that at primalsutra.com. Definitely set up a quick 15-minute call with us before you decide on that, because it takes a little bit of preparation for these things. You can't rush into it. You need to form an alliance or a pact or something like this, if you want to particularly work with that being much further, or have it guide you in your own life, in a sense, like for a very particular protocol. So Chief Deno for me represents the root or the groundedness aspect, okay? By the way, guys, I just wanted to show you my t-shirt. Spiritual gangsta, spiritual gangsta. Okay? Let's go, okay? So, Chief Deno represents the root chakra, right? The formation, the foundation of everything, the raw masculine, the pure truth, the container, the space holder, the shaman. If you notice, well, I noticed that Deno was owned backwards, or Oned, which reminds me, like, he's definitely the opposite of Ned Flanders, right? Like, Deno would probably be the opposite of Ned Flanders' energy, for sure. Because he, like, highly ho, neighborino, you know, ugly duckly. The complete opposite of that, right? He growls, he grumbles, he's like, ah. Right? Deno is more so a very, like, primal, like, animalistic type of energy that can come out, it can hunt, it can attack you, right, in a sense. But it's so powerful that you've got to give it its respect. Okay? So Deno can help you as a man find your groundedness, find your feet, and bring that energy of fantasy down into reality. And that's what I really needed Deno's help with, okay? Growing up, I would be fascinated by cartoons and facts and, you know, different anecdotes and different things like this, right? So my brain was full of imagination and ideas. I actually needed Deno's energy to help ground me. And I think I found it through the drums, specifically through hip hop. Some of the drums that I heard earlier in the day when I was listening to, like, rap music growing up. And if you notice something about rap music, right, it has a very grounding effect, a tribal mentality that makes you connect back to the earth. And I needed that music because I also record my own rap music. You can check out my Spotify, I write scripts. But that kind of music, right, was like my DMT in a sense, music, right? That was the thing that kind of unlocked different portals for me, because I ended up studying a little bit about sound technologies and binaural frequencies. As you guys know, I have another page called Cellism Tones, right? Where I used to create, in fact, a lot of these frequencies. But now if you want to just create a specific subliminal or a frequency or a morphic field or an ultrasonic sound file, whatever you need, just reach out to me and I'll help you create it. Also create affirmations, guided meditations, things like this. So I'm forming that. It's going to be up on the website, primalsutra.com soon, but we're still figuring things out with that in terms of the e-store. So as that gets prepared, you know, let's start talking about this, man. So Chief Deno, I understood that he was a Native American spirit, and I got this confirmation from a shaman that I had hired online. I remember at the time it was like through Instagram, but it was just guided. Everything was guided. I was just being told to pull up this page, do this, you know, reach out to them, say this. And they confirmed that this was a thing, right, happening to me. It wasn't like, you know, whimsical fantasy or me just my love for tigers, you know, coming through in this experience, but there was something genuinely happening. And I remember one night on New Year's Eve, I think it was, where I was sleeping and I was kind of in that half sleep, half awake state, and I saw this tiger spirit hovering above me in my mind's eye, right? When I closed my eyes, I felt this tiger presence, and then it kind of went through me, into me, and I sort of embodied that spirit in a sense. I allowed it. It felt very warm, it felt very friendly, it felt safe, but it felt tough. Okay, and I felt it for a couple of moments. I would even kind of get into this animalistic growling, kind of like sudden, like a little burst of unintegrated rage that was repressed in me, like came out like near my jaws, and like I felt like biting down, like, you know, I felt like biting down on this energy. And after that, it just kind of faded away, right? After that experience. Then I didn't have any contact with Deno for a while. But this shaman telling me that Chief Deno is a real being, and it's a personal spirit to me. So if you want to work with Chief Deno, you know, on your own, it might be a bit difficult for you, because it is much more associated with my beingness, my aura, and things like this. But I can give you permission to work with him on your own if you want to. That's completely fine. You can try to. What I'd advise that you do is you first try to really hone in on just repeating Deno over and over again, okay, in as slow a register that you can. So try and drag it out for as long as you can and keep repeating it. And doing this to shamanic drums or Native American music, or, you know, ayahuasca music, or Peruvian music, or a blend of tribal music and shamanic music, something like this, to be the layer or the kind of filtration device, because it's reminding you to connect to nature. And that's what Chief Deno is an expert in, is the natural world, the animal world, the spiritual world. And we found this out from Horace, who I'll make a video on later. But we found out from him is that trees are the connection to ancient lineages, okay? The indigenous communities. The trees are our connection with our ancestors, okay? So when I got to, well, we just found that out yesterday, right? But Chief Deno has been kind of telling me the power of nature and trees and plants and water and these different animal spirits, and every animal that you see in your life is a message from the beyond, he told me at one point. And so I was really looking at the symbolism of, like, let's say I see a random turkey on the street, or like, I don't know, why not do that, but you know what I'm saying? Like in India you have cows, so like, what does it mean if I meet a cow, you know, face to face, it's on the street? We just let the cows roam here, you know what I'm saying? Like, so let's say I see like a little salamander, like a newt, or like a lizard, right? A gecko that you find around most homes like this in Asia. That reminds you to get back into your body. You're too much in your mind. The gecko is your reptile brain, so it's telling you to get back into what's important, right? The amygdala, the fear response, is there to remind you what is important. You're focusing on something else. It's just a signal, okay? So these animals are signals, they're symbols, they're reminders, they're messengers from the beyond, is what Chief Deno told me. So it's funny, man. He always, like, he's very, very grounded. He's very serious too. Like, he'll make some jokes, but it's like mature jokes, you know what I mean? Like, and he will sort of bring the energy, like, kind of, like, he can really ground anybody. Like, someone freaking out, like, oh my God, and then he did that, and then Deno's like, I see. And how can I help? You know, he's kind of like that type of energy. And so I've started to understand that the Native Americans, you know, and this is going back to the Cosmic Code Convention, which I was a part of, right? I was a guest of honor, you could say. I spoke about flow state. So this had, you know, some of the greatest, you know, lineup of, you know, AZD was there, Vince Kelvin's event, okay? Then it was Hypnotica, if you know Hypnotica. And then it was James Hyman, the shaman. And I think this was 2020, as far as I remember, the Cosmic Code Convention. And if you want that, a link to that or whatever, I had long hair at the time, right? And I'll share that with you if you want. I don't really know what the price is, but if you just message me, if you just want my portion of that, or if you want the whole event, you have to buy it all right from the thing. But if you just want my little spiel, just reach out to me as well. So basically, during this time, there were two shamans in the lineup, right? One was James Hyman, from whom I learned the understanding of breath work in terms of shamanism, which how important breath work really is to alter your state of mind. So there's a shamanic, that kind of hyperventilation, shamanic breath work really helped me to access these different states of mind and pull in a lot of different imagery and things like this, which, you know, we can only get so far with this. I mean, again, psychedelics kind of enhance that effect and things like this, but again, without integration, it's a no-no. You need to do things with integration, which means you need a proper aftercare before you do anything, okay? So besides that fact, you want to understand that this energy of Chief Deno is a reminder for you to come home into your physical body and to connect with the earth, okay? The basic reminder that Deno has given me is that say what you truly mean. Just do what you truly want, say what you truly mean. It's very simple, but it's difficult to do in the moment. So he'll challenge you. Okay, when I'm being a little people pleaser, he'll challenge me. He'll be like, do what you truly want. Say what you truly mean in this moment. What did you actually mean? Now, maybe you don't want to offend. Let's add a little bit of language in there to support it. But let's not take away the truth. Let's not distort the truth. Okay? That power that he's given me, it can cut through illusion, right? The truth can cut through illusion. So anything temporary or illusory, or that's making you feel bad or lower, is hallucination. You got to get that, right? And the reality, the truth is freedom, liberation, embodiment, okay? So what else do I want to say about Chief Deno? Well, to work with him, for one. Definitely, if you haven't, I mean, some of you have in the Primal Sutra Collective, right? By the way, click that Telegram group if you want to join these free channel sessions every Sunday. Chief Deno, what can I say about him? Oh yeah, he's great at like herbology and supplements and things like this. Like he knows a lot about plants and plant medicine and plant agriculture, and he's very, very connected to the drum. So I will definitely I'm thinking about this, and he told me to get a dream catcher very recently, which is very interesting. Because we're working a little bit with Morpheus, who's the king of dreams, which is a great show on Netflix, by the way, if you check that out. What was it called? I'm not really remembering the name, but it's with that particular character, Morpheus. Yeah, whoever thinks of the name, you can just type it in the comments to help the other people locate it. But yeah, basically, this understanding from Chief Deno of to connect with the natural world, to work with all the elements, to let it guide you and let it be a help and a support to you, because you never know when you need the help of the planet. You never know when you need the help of these animals or animal spirits or spirit guides. He's an expert in animal totems and power animals and all this kind of stuff, right? So if you're really like, oh, what is my spirit animal, right? Usually you can't really get a spiritual, like a spirit animal like that from, another being telling you what it is, but he can see through a lot of these different types of totems. And so if you do need support in that, he will give you proper guidance. And of course, there's a lot of guided visualizations and things he takes you through as well. But primarily what you want to understand is that Chief Deno really understands the animal totems. The shadow totem is an interesting term that we learned from him in our path working as well. So your shadow animal is basically the animal who has like your hidden traits, okay? The aspects of your personality that are not out in the open, that are very closeted, that are very kept secret, that are very in your own internal space, right? So the shadows that you have. the unexpressed things, the unprocessed emotion, right? All of that is just there in the shadow. So that does not necessarily mean it's all bad as well, because there's also the golden shadow, as many of us know. So understanding the fact that he's told me so much and reminded me so much to connect with nature and this natural world, and it has healing powers, and it has this certain kind of frequency, right? And I know I'm like, not, well, they're called Native Americans, right? Indians, and I'm a different kind of Indian, so I guess it links in that way. However, just what I learned from, James Hyman, the breathwork, I just going back to that. So in that event, that Cosmic Code event, right, there was also this guy named Whitefeather. Whitefeather talked a lot about numerology. I was primarily interested in the 8 symbol, because 8 hertz is the flow state pocket, I guess you could say. We call it the alpha theta bridge in a sense, okay? 8 hertz per second. So that frequency, right, I wanted to know more about in numerology. So he told me, and he's his name is Whitefeather, bro. What do you think, right? So, so the 8, right, is almost the symbol in the tarot deck, if you understand it, of the juggler, okay, the juggler. And the juggler is almost like blending 2 worlds together, the physical and the metaphysical. Okay, maybe it's investing money into something, and it's coming out on the other side. ROI, right? So it's this idea of investment of energy. The effort you put in is the effort you get out, right? And that gave me another perspective in terms of this Native American kind of magic, you could say, or occult practice, which is the shamans and the natives, they use all of the animal. Right? They eat all of the animal, or they use it in their rituals. So they'll wear the animal. They believe that they will then embody that frequency in a sense. You get what I'm saying? So if you're calling out to, let's say, a bird spirit, you would need feathers on this stick and put it up in the air to signal and have the language, right? You would have the language that speaks to the specific bird. You have to learn that bird tongue, which a lot of these shamans are very good at, impersonating animals or going into. So this is another interesting factor, and maybe you can end on this. So Chief Deno, right? You've got to understand that Chief Deno is anthropomorphic. So he can turn into a tiger, a full tiger. He can turn into a hybridization of this half tiger, half man, or were tiger, right? Like a werewolf, but were tiger. So tiger's head and like human's body, but still covered in fur and things like this. So, so he can go midway, he can go hybrid mode. He can go all the way human as well. His Native American spirit, his essence of how he personifies himself as a human. He can do that. He can anthropomorphize, okay? So this is very, very interesting, and he's always reminded me to take care of the planet. So he does not like me littering at all. He does not like me, using bottled water, all this kind of stuff. He keeps reminding me of these things, that you really need to take care of the planet, have gratitude for the planet. And it's a constant reminder or a theme from him is this. And earlier when I worked with him, he's very, deep, mysterious, kind of a little bit dark at times, but just, reality is dark. You know what I mean? In a sense. So it's like that understanding of like, hey man, like, let's get down to brass taxes. Like, what's really going on here, right? And so that he kind of like, he was sort of a red pill moment for me, right? Like, where he was like the Morpheus, right? We just brought him up. Yeah, so many themes to the Matrix here anyway. And it's the year of the white rabbit, right? Or the water rabbit, which is another Matrix theme, like 2023, I mean, like for the Chinese New Year that's coming up, right? 2020, 2023, right? Like January 22nd, which is in 2 days or something, right? So, wow, man. Oh, by the way, we were told to do a specific ritual on the 22nd. If you want to know what that is, first of all, you got to join the Primal Sutra Pathworking, okay? That is where we share all this stuff. There's a Facebook group as well, primalsutragroup.com. If you want to join the Facebook group, just join that. We'll be posting more about this protocol and what we do and how I actually channel. You can learn that too. And starting to understand that, this Were Tiger Essence has taught me so much. And we are on a path working also on IMC Nation, which was basically, it was Beast Phase 1, Beast Phase 2, right? And so it was this understanding of our animal selves and really connecting with our animal selves and starting to understand that, we have this animalistic side of us in our own internal nature, right? Our own primal selves, this caveman essence or cave woman essence that we have to tap into. And once we can understand that energy of the hunter-gatherer, right? The one who can zoom in and out, the one who can have the peripheral vision, we can really tap into this raw masculine Deno energy, and we can actually become very good protectors. Because Deno seems kind of like a guardian energy, like a guardian essence, like he's guarding the secrets of the Native American shamanic powers in a sense. Really, really fascinating guy, deity, like being. I don't know what to call him, but he's a spirit, that's for sure. And yeah, working with his energy. And I asked him later, about the thing about the tiger merging with me, and he said that I was just doing an attunement at that right time because that's when you needed a quantum leap, he told me. That's when you needed like a jump in your consciousness. So I was just providing the tiger's protection and its energy in that time for you. So I just sent a tiger to check up on you, basically, in a sense, is what he told me. And yeah, he's like a protective father figure type of energy. We consider all of these deities family. Like, that's how we connect and get deeper of a rapport and a relationship with these beings. And they're non-physical beings, right? And so we have to really respect their traditions, their worldview, really get to know them, make them a friend, right? Make them an ally, make them a comrade. Don't see them as higher or lower than you. You have to be right there, okay, when you're working with these beings. So I just want to end this here. If you want to find out more, definitely shoot me a message if this is fascinating to you. If you don't believe me, that's fine. Your loss, you know what I mean? You're not going to get access to the magnificent gifts that this kind of work offers. So that's your call. That's your loss. But for those of you who are on tune with this, you're interested, you're like, yeah, shamanistic magical powers, like, sign me up, right? If you're like that, good for you, man. And just join the path working and just see how it's done. If you have a request to specifically have Deno on, we can do that too, okay? We can take certain requests for maybe donations or things like this too. So let's get started. Well, I'm saying that so I get started with my day and like start doing things. But yeah, have an incredible day. May the flow be with you and stay legendary. Let's get it. Upward Spiral Gang. May we never be the same again. By the way, shout out to Cam, who sent me a message that this video really helped him yesterday when he woke up in a sweat and he found the video in the right moment. So if this hits you in the right moment and you're like, yep, I needed to hear this. I know I need to be more grounded. Good. You're in the right place, brother or sister. You're in the right place. Let's go. Upward Spiral Gang.